Hello, you're all so welcome here at Straight from the Horse's Mouth, the Pony Play podcast. My name is not Kylian de Toirneach. My name is Jason Elliott, Mr. Mid-Atlantic Leather, and I'm so excited to be a very special guest host of this episode of Straight from the Horse's Mouth. With me today, in a special turn of events, is the War of the Thunder, the rubber Irish Shire horse, and the regular host of this podcast. We'll talk about how they first got into pony play, where they've gone with it, maybe a little bit about what pony play is, and also what they're doing now, including a recent announcement that they're in the running for something very special. Please join me in welcoming to his own podcast, Kylian de Toirneach.
Well
Hi,
done.
Kylian. Yeah, there is no pressure like the pressure of a podcast host watching you try to read a script for his own podcast to be a special guest on his own podcast. This is stressful. My blood pressure is through the roof already.
And somehow I'm not a dumb, yet I am such a masochist.
Well, you know what? You were doing it well, my friend. Doing it well. How's your blood pressure?
Regulated with pills. Thank you very much.
Oh, wonderful. I'll take the name of that doctor after this episode is over with.
Absolutely.
Sweet. Well, I'm super excited to chat with you some today. And get to know a little bit more about you, kind of, I think a lot of times we hear the person hosting and we forget that they also have a journey. So I'm really excited that you are choosing to share your journey with us today, and can't wait to pick and pry just a little bit and learn more about you.
Ooh.
Don't worry, it won't be too painful unless you're into that, because I am too, and I can make it hurt really good.
Make it more thuddy, less stingy, and we're good.
You know, that's such a good way to put that. I like that.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Because I always say, like, make it more dull, not sharp. But I think your way, I may have to try using that sometime.
You're welcome. You can have that.
Oh, thank you. I take whatever I can have. That's for sure.
Oh my God.
Hey, you said to amp it up a little bit. And after our recent episode that we had where I got to be your guest host, I decided I would, in fact, amp it up for you and put you on the hot seat.
I walk away for 10 minutes and this is what happens. I love it.
Well, you know what? You should never walk away. But I may have you limping away. Who knows? No. All right. We're going to listen. You never should have told me that this was like rated explicit, because we're going to go with it.
I'm so excited. All right.
Okay, awesome. Well, look, all right. So right out of the gate, thank you for having me as your guest host this week. I'm really, really excited to be here. And as we talked about in my episode where I was your guest, I'm Mr. Mid-Atlantic Leather. So there's a lot of overlap between leather and pony play, but maybe not enough where every person listening to this episode right now would know what pony play is. So I was hoping that we could start out kind of with one of my passions, which is educating people who may be curious or don't know anything. Can you give us just an intro to pony play? What exactly is pony play?
Sure. So pony play is best described in it's what you, it is so many things. That's the problem. It can be anything. Anywhere there is a horse mindset or a, you have a player who is in the role of the horse. Mm-hmm. Anything around that could be pony play. So like it can be the way that we've broken it down before is that you can be, is the horse, like, are they role playing as a horse? Or are they being forced into that role? Mm-hmm. That's a great way to like get started and kind of figure out what direction you're kind of heading into with this. Because like it could literally just be, you could just be doing like a grooming scene. You can be doing a breeding scene. You can be doing, you're going to go do work. You're going to pull carts. You're going to, or pull a sled or pull, this is stuff I like doing, like pulling a sled or pulling a plow. Pony play is basically anything where one or two are gathered and there is a horse involved.
I love that. Now, when I was explaining to some of my followers, that we were going to be doing this podcast, I had a lot of questions come up kind of along that route. One that you just touched on that I would like clarification on. Does pony play require that someone be in the role of a horse or a pony? And some of these may be, I'm going to take you off of the hook for just a second. Because in leather, I oftentimes will say, well, you're going to ask 10 different people and you're going to get 10 different answers. So we don't hold this as gospel.
Okay, good. Because I have opinions.
Yeah. Well, this is your podcast after all.
Fair enough.
But yeah, because I was curious, like if I want to put you to work, but I am not that pony, am I still participating in pony play?
Yeah, I think you would be. And I think it's because, well, you're talking me specifically, yes, because I am the pony. But yeah, I would say yes, because the task that's being put for, well, maybe not. It really comes down to mindset. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I would say that, yeah, there would need to be somebody in that role.
Got it. Yeah.
Yeah.
For what it matters, I completely agree with you.
Okay, great. Affirmation. Great.
Yeah. Well, and I think of it, for some of our listeners today, they may be more familiar with pup play and how that relates to leather, which we'll get into in just a little bit. But I often think about how we have handlers who never will be pups, but they still engage in pup play by their role as a handler. And so for me, I liken that to kind of what we have talked about already, and what you've talked about in previous episodes, where if someone is in that role, then we are doing pony play. But I don't know.
Yeah, I mean that's a really good question, really. Part of me says yes, in that, like, if their role as a handler is equestrian inspired, then yes. But then my mind goes to, well, then what kind of play are they then, how are they interacting with whoever ends up being their partner in play? Yeah. Are they then, are they forcing them into that pony role?
That's
is that what they're doing? Consensually, of course. But is that what they're doing? Because then, yes, you are now engaging in pony play in that way.
Yeah, that's a really good point. And actually, that's a great segue into one of the other things that kept coming up when I was thinking about this episode is like the etiquette. So what is etiquette? In these situations, are there standards of what does and doesn't happen, what should and shouldn't happen? In our leather community, we have a lot of unspoken rules. So where does that fall in pony play? Give us some etiquette 101.
I mean, etiquette-wise, there aren't any real unspoken rules, and I say that because everything is negotiated beforehand.
Yeah, love that.
Everything is consensual. Even consensual, non-consensual is consensual play. And so everything is negotiated. So, and that's to the benefit of both the handler and the pony, or whatever role the dominant wants to take in this: handler, trainer, groom, pick a thing. But that way, there isn't there aren't like misaligned goals in the play, because there's nothing more disappointing and less satisfying than finishing a scene and not reaching the same kind of like conclusion that you both were looking for. Yeah. And also, like, different people play different ways because it's so broad. Like, some people want a really like strong-handed dominant who's going to beat the pony to an inch of their life, right? Because that's what the pony wants. Right. Or you want like realistic horse training where that's only used for correction. So really does come down to, there isn't so much etiquette like that's across the board beyond ask for consent and negotiate whatever your scene is going to be beforehand.
Yeah. And that plays back into our previous episode when we talked about kind of setting those ground rules before a scene. So you do know, how do you get pleasure out of this? Or how do you get fulfillment? You know, I like I like how you said that we reached the same conclusion at the end, and that's a very nice way to put that. But yeah, the fact of the matter is, at the end of it, we should have, you know, a nice balanced sense of satisfaction, and I think that's really, really important across the board. I think that's phenomenal. Now, for some of our outside listeners who maybe aren't quite ready to engage in pony play specifically, you know, I hate to keep referencing our last episode together, but it was so good. And if people didn't listen to it, they need to go back and listen to it.
Yeah. In fact, stop this one, go back.
Exactly.
And then come back. Yeah.
Yes. Make sure to like, subscribe, and follow. Thank you. Yes, wherever you get your podcasts. So we talked about how you came to Charlottesville, Virginia for the very first gear night that happened in Charlottesville. In April of 2024 is when that happened. And you came in and had a lot of people curious and inspired. Probably more than we'll admit we're a little aroused. And we talked about how when you were like, oh, I wish they would have just come up and talked to me. You didn't sound like that. That's just my impression I do of everybody. Yeah, you said when I was like, yeah, people are still asking questions. And you said, well, why didn't they come talk to me? So can people come up to you and talk to you if they're not familiar? Is it appropriate for them to approach a pony and say hello? Or how do they do that? Do they address you in that moment as a beast or as a human? Do they touch you? Do they not touch you? Do they ask questions or do they not?
That's a really good question.
Thanks. I try not to ask bad ones.
Fair enough. They've happened, though.
Yes.
Yes. Context is everything.
Okay.
So, for an example, for an event like that, where I am, like, there isn't a handler who's holding my reins, who's obviously, like, the person who's in control of the situation. And it's a bar night. It's not a play night. It's just it's a very social thing. Absolutely. Come up and talk. Like my reaction will always be based off of how that person starts to interact. If they're asking questions, I'm just going to go like answer questions. If they're going to come up and be like, ooh, I'm going to pet the pony, then I'm going to respond in pony headspace and act the part. Right. If there's a handler who's very clearly like in that role, in that situation. So if I had somebody who was like literally standing there holding my reins, then you talk to them first, right? You talk to the person who's obviously in control of the whole situation, and they'll be more than happy to answer questions, including, can I pet the pony? Yes, you may. Because all of that will also have already been negotiated with that handler as well in going into that situation. Yeah,
that's a really, really good point. And I think, you know, it's just like being a kind of a Western guy myself. I have spent a lot of time on a lot of farms and lots of animals, and we try to instill in everyone, like, you don't just walk up to this very large animal and just think they're going to know what your intentions are, that you're not a threat, that you're not food, all of these things. And so, you know, when you see someone walking, their literal horse from a trailer to the stall, for example, you always are going to ask that person, oh, can I pet? And so it's the same, I think, when we see you, which you also are a very large beast and can be slightly intimidating or, again, very appealing. And so I really like that you point out the fact that if you have someone who has your reins, just follow that same protocol. It's respect, it's safety, and, hopefully common sense. But it's always the best way to go with that.
And don't startle the horse because they will kick.
Absolutely. Have you ever kicked anyone?
Capitol Pride Parade 2024.
Oh my gosh, that was only a year ago.
2024. I was with the Capital Area Pets and Handlers group, and I was pulling a cart with 2 people in it.
Oh my gosh.
And I had a pup who was pulling a wagon who just kept getting in my way. He just kept coming over, and he just wasn't paying attention. It's not his fault. But I definitely kicked him because I'm just I have a cadence. I'm not slowing down.
Yeah.
We're on a hill.
Oh my gosh.
As I had two bodies behind me. And, the cart is a 2-wheel pony cart.
Sure.
So think of a rickshaw basically.
Yeah.
So you're also holding it up their weight. Yeah. So it's just you need to freaking move. At one point, one of the people in the cart also decided to get out. After we took that turn onto Pennsylvania Avenue.
Oh yeah.
They decided to get out of the cart. And this is also towards the end of the parade. So we were in the shade up until we got to that point. Mm-hmm. And so then I'm in full black spandex and a full black leather hood. So the sun's finally coming down. And I'm like, okay, we're just gonna beast through this and finish it. And this person decides to start waving a flag in front of me, super, super slow in their heels that they can't walk in.
Oh my God.
And I'm just I'm gonna take you out. I'm gonna run you over, and I do not care. And that person knows who they are, and I have not talked to them since then. Because I'm just don't even talk to me. Don't even talk to me. I will still kick you. I'm sorry. I will. It's just.
Well, we will not say hello to them on this episode then. But straight from the horse's mouth, get out of the way.
Get the fuck out of the way.
Yes. And a side note about parades, it gets hot. It's exhausting. You're walking on asphalt for miles. You're sweaty and dehydrated. You're slippery. You're tired. I know if you have your, and correct me, I'm not sure if you refer to them as masks or hoods.
We typically refer to them as hoods.
Okay. Thank you for that education. This is why I am a guest host and not the host. So while you have that on, you don't necessarily have the same human expressions all the time. But oftentimes, I am sure from me being in different settings, you still emote in certain ways. And so mentally, you're exhausted. Physically, you are exhausted. When you are in a parade, by the time that you make it to the end, the last thing you want to do is be patient with somebody. The last thing you want to do is take more pictures with them. You have no empathy. You have no patience. Nothing.
I just want to drop the cart, go to the bar, get a whiskey ginger and a fucking water, and just sit.
You had me until you said whiskey ginger. I'm a whiskey soda kind of guy, but I guess we'll let that slide.
It's the Irish heritage in me. I'm sorry.
That's fair. To be completely honest, I will drink a whiskey or bourbon soda out, but at my house, it is just on rocks. People ask me what's my favorite mixer for bourbon, and I say rocks.
Same.
Same. I love it. Okay, cool. So let's switch gears just a little bit for the first time in this episode, because you've given us a nice foundation of what is pony play and what do we do, what do we not do, and you've alluded to some really fun personal experiences. So let's back it up if you're okay with that, and if you're not okay with that, Too bad, because I'm pretty sure you have a signed release form that says you're okay with it.
Damn it.
Tell us about your own origin story. How exactly did you get started in pony play?
Just like every kinkster in their bedroom.
Ooh.
Yes. No, so like I was a graduate student in, well, okay, no, we're going to go further back. The internet was a thing.
Okay.
And I definitely broke some of those "are you 18 years or older" laws.
What? You're the only person that
The
ever
only
broke
person.
those.
Lock me up. I promise I won't find it hot.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So like, you know, as you're discovering your sexuality and you're kind of figuring stuff out, like I started with like spandex and lycra, which I always call the gateway drug to rubber. Because it's
Nice.
also because it is the cheaper version of rubber. It is a
That's a
skin
fair
tight
point.
is a skin tight garment that will get you not the exact same feelings, but a lot of the same sensations that you're looking for.
Sure.
And also, it's way easier to hide from your parents growing up, and easier to get a hold of. Like this is before rubber became very easy to find online.
Okay.
So yeah, started with that in like high school and blah, 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 blah. Skipped about a decade, get into, after graduate school, first round of grad school, I bought my first rubber suit, fell in love with everything about it. Skip a couple more years, went back to grad school, was trying to find a kink community when I lived in Long Beach, California. And as great as LA is, I miss it all the time. As great as it is, its kink scene is so spread out because the city is so
big,
fucking huge.
Yeah.
That, you're talking to someone who lives in the same city as you. It's going to be an hour drive to go see them, and no one wants to do that. So even when there are kink events, you know, people aren't coming out in droves to go to them all that much. If they're going to do an event, they're going to go out to like Palm Springs and make a weekend of it, sort of thing, or go to San Diego and make a weekend of it. So, and being someone who literally worked every day of the week when I lived there, it was hard to do those kind of events. So like a version of the Eagle. There's one in LA, another one opened in Long Beach, and they started hosting gear nights. And I'm like, okay, cool. I'm going to go check this out. The pup scene in Long Beach was thriving, like absolutely massive. I'm like, oh, that sounds interesting. Maybe I'll try that. Got a pup hood. But I went fancy and got like the really nice, like Mr. S leather one.
You going fancy and overboard? I don't believe you for a minute.
I still have that. But like, it's in a box over my wardrobe. But yeah, still have it.
That's sweet.
So tried that a little bit. I'm just like, okay, and obviously I was like the biggest person there, not just height, but at that time, like I blew up in California. So I was like the biggest person there. And I'm just like, I feel like I can't keep up with all these kids, honestly. And just being on all fours just isn't my style. Like this doesn't feel like me. And, you know, as one does, you're cruising on the internet and you're just seeing what's around. And I remember seeing a pony from Germany named Nighty. And he is gorgeous, a gorgeous pony. And he's at Folsom. He's at all the big events. You're Googling him right now.
I am Googling him right now.
Nighty.
Wait, N-I.
And he is beautiful. And it's just like that. That's what I want to do. I want to do that. And then after...
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, jeez.
There you go.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So I, after realizing that, and once I had disposable income again, ordered my first hood, like ordered a bunch of parts, a bunch of different parts for my stuff, and just went for it. And as soon as like everything was there, and I immediately found my headspace as soon as like I had everything, like even before I had everything, honestly, I found that pony headspace, but just reaffirmed all of that. And the rest is history, I guess.
That's really cool. The rest is history yet to be written.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah. We will talk more about. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, and I was going to say the reason me being fancy, I'm going to go back to that real quick. You making fun of me for being, going fancy and whatever.
Okay, for the record, that's not me making fun of you. It's an acknowledgement of similar passions.
Fair enough.
Please revisit. Go back and be fancy.
I will. Before I really dove headfirst into kink, I was heavy into cosplay. After college, and I was that cosplayer who made everything themselves that they could.
Okay. Yeah.
So to the point where when I was living in Ireland and going back for work, I always scheduled my time to be there during a convention that I used to be a cosplay judge for.
Oh, how cool.
So I was that bitch that would literally flip seams and go, "You didn't make this. You didn't sew this. What do you mean you made? No, get out of here." It's like I was that person. And so because of that, I find that that attention to detail has carried over into my pony tack and everything that I put together for that.
Yeah. Yeah. And that was, so on one of your previous episodes, you were speaking with your guests about like making all of this, like literally making the character is not the right word, but building from scratch, like from nothing, learning how to bring this idea from like the inside out. And it was really cool to hear that. And I think it speaks to like the investment. So not only is this an expensive thing to enjoy,
well, it doesn't have to be, but yeah.
And that's always my very nice answer when it comes to leather too, because I will always tell people I know which companies are going to have sample sales throughout the year. I know who's going to have holiday sales. I know who's got a clearance section. I know all the sites where you can get things secondhand.
And you're going to send me that list.
Absolutely so. Yeah. I got you. Look, I told you before, if anybody needs anything, I'm here for it. But the reality is that if you don't have those resources in place or you don't have those links, it can be super intimidating to think about, oh my gosh, I don't have hundreds or thousands of dollars to drop on this one piece of gear. So how do you navigate that, or what's kind of your response to that?
Yeah. So, and this has been a trend on these episodes up to now. That gear doesn't.
Which I will have to say that's kind of influenced a little bit of me asking that again, because I think it is worth saying over and over and over.
Oh, you've been trained well.
Well, that's how I got this job as a special guest host of Straight from the Horse's Mouth.
I will always say gear does not make the pony. It is a common thing that's said that, you can do pony play with a piece of string and a pencil. Like if you can fashion fashion a bit out of something and reins out of something, you can do it. I mean, and honestly, if you think about it, pony play is it's make believe. It's you're horse playing. You're doing what we used to do as kids, just as adults at this point. And sometimes adults with money. Like that's all it is. So you just have to get imaginative about it and think about, this would be a great piece that would work for this, or like I could do something with this. I love seeing people's ingenuity in making tack and making gear. And I was the same way with cosplay. Yeah. I love seeing how people come up with a solution to a problem and get the result that they want. And to be able to do it on a budget, it's amazing. Now, that being said, starting out, I did a lot of that. Now, I mean, at a certain point, you kind of get into it, and you save up, and you wait, and you wait, and you wait, and then you get what you really want to do. Especially if I will buy something if I know I don't have the skills or the space to make it myself, living in a small one-bedroom apartment in Northern Virginia. Yeah. So like my harness, I made myself because I have the skills to do that. And
I didn't know you made your own harness.
I did. And
that's awesome.
I also didn't want to spend thousands of dollars on a leather harness, especially as I'm going through like a major weight loss journey as well. So I didn't want to invest all that money into something that I wouldn't be able to hold on to for a long period of time. That all being said, despite me making my own harness, when you see me in full tack and gear at Firefly in Charlottesville, that's about $4,000 worth of gear.
Yep.
But like I said, that's not something that you just drop all at once. And especially as you kind of figure out like how you want to play and what your aesthetic is and what you want to do, like you develop that over a long period of time. Like I didn't get those really fancy hooves of mine until about 3 or 4 years in because I didn't want to drop a bunch of money on something and go, oh, this isn't what I want.
Exactly.
So like I had bought a much, much, much less expensive pair to try things out with and realized why they were much, much, much less expensive because I went ahead and destroyed them within a year. So like, but yeah, like I have friends who are developing like 3D printed hooves right now for their boots and like developing all of their own stuff and making it work. And it's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant.
That is wonderful. And I think it really does speak to like the longevity of the adventure. Because a lot of times I say the exact same thing. Recently I was at a leather event and, people came back to the room after things and
as one does, whatever. Naturally.
Whatever. Doesn't matter. Details. And they went to go toss some of my leather out of the way. And I was like, hey, actually, let me put that up over here. And he was like, actually, that's probably a good idea. Because, I'm not a leather person and I can imagine that's pretty expensive. And he was like, how much is the outfit that you're wearing? And I said, well, how much is your mortgage every month? And he told me, and I was like, so this will cover about 2.5 months of your mortgage. And he was like, what? Are you kidding? I said, yes, but it's important to remember, like we talked about earlier, like it's a compilation, it's something that you've built up over time. And anybody who just starts in whether it be tack or whether it's my leather gear, you don't start out where you want to be. When I guest lecture, I talk about learning, and I say learning is not where we are, it's where we want to be. And so the same thing with our journeys when it comes to gear, it's not where we are, but it's where we want to get to. And that's kind of the fun of it, is that we get to build it piece by piece. And then you have stories that when you put your gear on, when you get into that headspace, or, when you're getting ready for an event, every single thing that you put on, you think about, I remember I was so excited when this harness came in. Or, oh, I remember the first time I clipped that and I pinched myself. It was awful. Like you have all these stories. And I think that's really, really important. That's why we love it so much, because when we gear up, we really are wrapping ourselves literally in the stories that we have and the memories that we're making. And it's really cool.
Yeah.
Personally. But
I love that. I'm stealing that. Thank you.
Well, you don't have to steal it if I give it to you.
Oh, you can give me more.
Barf. Well, okay. All right. Well, then, speaking of giving more, we talked on my episode about leather contests and how I am a former Mr. Virginia leather and currently the Mr. Mid-Atlantic leather, representing 40 years of the Mid-Atlantic leather title. But I actually learned through you, of all people, that there are other contests, and you recently gave us an announcement that you are running for North American Pony 2026. So that is super exciting, and I would be a horrible guest host if we did not take some time to talk about this contest coming up.
Yeah.
So congratulations on taking that first step of now making it public. So you're locked in. You can't back out now.
I've paid the application fee. It's happening.
There you go.
Yeah.
So tell us about that. Like what does the contest entail? What goes into preparing for it? And then after you tell us those things, I want to know more about why you decided to compete.
Okay. Yeah. So it's the North American Pony and Trainer competition. So it's actually a dual title. So there are actually two winners at the end. There's a trainer and a pony. You can compete singles, like you can compete as a single pony or as a single trainer, or you can compete as a pair.
Cool.
And multitudes of different combinations of one over the years. Right now, I know for a fact coming into this next year, there are 2 single ponies, a single trainer, and then a pair that are competing for the titles. And what goes into this is, at least this year, there have been many different iterations of the contest. It used to be over an entire weekend. It used to be part of a bigger festival back in the day. This year, we are cramming it into 6 hours at the Baltimore Playhouse on a Sunday afternoon.
Yeah,
it's gonna be quick. And so what that includes is a 15-minute Q&A, public Q&A, and kind of like almost like a mini lecture that you have to come up with on the spot.
On the spot?
On a topic that they choose. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Talking about the blood pressure at the beginning of this episode, mine just spiked again.
Yeah. So there's that.
Wow.
Okay. There is an obstacle course that you have to be led through by a handler. Not sure how that's going to work for the single ponies. Usually there's a house handler that does it.
Okay.
The single trainer who's competing has a former title holder who's going to act as their pony for these things.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah. And then there is a performance, like a free performance, 5 minutes, pick a song, do a dance essentially, or do a routine to that. Have I figured that out yet? Not even close. But then the other really interesting thing that they do is that you're being judged the moment you walk into the building.
Yeah.
They're also judging you based off of how you interact with the community, how you represent the community, how you work with, how you represent yourself to the judges, how you represent yourself to your other competitors. Like your sense of community is also on display because it is a service title. It is a title where you are representing the wider pony community to the wider leather and kink communities. So there's a lot going on.
Yeah. And while you're talking about all that, I was on the website, NorthAmericanPonyTrainerContest.com, and was looking up some of the contest rules and judging criteria. And it's really, really cool to see at least for me, the focus on the community. Like you were just saying, like, this effort to be, that voice for our kink communities. And I think specifically, like we talked about at the start of this episode, pony and trainer play may be a little bit different for some people. And so having a title that can specifically focus on educating is really cool. And we also talked about having, certain titles that are focused on entertainment. The idea of having a show component is just very, very exciting for that. Right. I can't wait. I'm not going to ask you. Well, you're not even ready for it anyway, so I couldn't even ask you what you're going to do. But I can't wait to as it comes together. I can't wait.
I have a song picked out. That's about as far as I've gotten so far.
Oh, you know what? That's the good foundation. That is great.
I just need like a solid 3 hours where no one's bothering me, and I'll figure it out. I've got time.
Is that a nice way to say wrap this episode up? Is that what you're trying to say?
No, not at all.
Stop asking me all these questions.
Today is not that day. I'm going to figure it out.
If you're anything like me, it's going to come at the least expected, most inconvenient time where you're like, oh my gosh, this is it. I've got it.
Yeah, that sounds like me. Yeah.
Yep.
There was a second part to your question.
So we talked about what goes into preparing for it. And then my second part was, why did you decide that this is the route you wanted to go to? And we're gonna kind of put a little spin on that a little, because we've talked about the importance of title holders in the leather community and kink communities. But also in the last episode, we talked about how you don't have to be a title holder to do something. So when did that thing switch where you're like, oh, wait a minute, being a title holder would elevate this? How did that happen for you?
Oh, good question.
Again, I don't like bad ones.
Yeah, fair enough. I think it got to the point where I'm an admin on the we have a Telegram chat of ponies across the world, and I was asked to come on as an admin for that group, and kind of taking on a little bit a small leadership role in that, to kind of drop that inkling in my head that's just oh, okay, this is something that could happen. And honestly, as one becomes more popular on social media, people start asking you questions.
Yeah.
They see you as someone that they can come to ask about different things. And it's just oh, I'm slowly becoming a voice in this community that people are asking questions of, and asking for me to represent them in certain ways, or go on podcasts. I was on a podcast in India a couple of years ago to talk about pony play, and I'm just awesome. This is wild to me. And it's just my voice is now being used to discuss what pony play is, and really get more involved. And so I'm not going to say that starting this podcast was kind of part of that, but because I've been sitting on this idea for years to do this.
Sure.
But the idea that I wanted to create a resource for people to not only learn more about pony play, but also hear from other voices in the community that aren't being heard as well. Because there is a very rich history of pony players who are thankfully still alive and can tell their stories and share that with people, because pony play is starting to get more and more popular as social media is becoming, even more ingrained into our lives. You're seeing more ponies pop up everywhere, and it's kind of I want to invite them into the pony community and not feel that they're only an accessory to the gear community.
That's a really good point.
And so that's why my platform for this is Draw the Circle Wide. It's to let's bring those people in and invite them into, the global herd, if you will.
Nice.
And so it's just I feel like I'm already trying to do that work, but having that title will kind of push that forward a little bit more, and also kind of give more legitimacy to it, to the folks who aren't always on social media, right? Because there is a very large pony community that exists on just FetLife or on, email listservs and things like that. They haven't really dove into Instagram and Twitter and Blue Sky or TikTok. Like there is this, it's almost like there's a great divide between the generations, and I kind of sit between the two of them. And I want to bring this community further into the 21st century, but bring everybody with us as we go.
Sure.
So anyway, that's why I'm competing.
I love it. Yeah. I think it's great. And something that sticks out is, like you said it yourself, you're already doing this work. So in this role, I want to acknowledge here and now that you are doing the work. And so obviously we are putting this episode out before the contest even happens. And so regardless of what happens in the coming weeks at that contest, thank you for being someone who is giving us a way that we can learn more about this. In the case of myself, having listened to your other episodes, it's so cool to see how tight the community actually is. The fact that so many of the people that you name as like your inspirations and your like the people that got you started have been on your show, and it's so neat to see that. So as an outsider, I already feel much more educated thanks to your efforts. So I will say that on the record right now, that you are doing the work and we're a better community for it. And I just want to say thank you for that.
No, thank you.
Yeah.
I promise I won't cry on my own podcast, but that's
what I was trying to do.
That's happened before, so damn it, Tromper.
Look, I made it through my episode without crying. I got
Barely.
choked up. I got choked up one time. That's it. So that's it. We will allow choke ups and getting choked, and then that's about that. See, look, I had to get you out of that headspace and bring you right back around to reality.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So I will ask this question and then we'll move on from it. But I think again, thinking about who is listening to this episode, do you see, and you just mentioned kind of the global herd and like getting people into the pony community specifically, do you see your community as part of my community? Or do you see us as being in the same community? And for anyone who is not who hasn't listened from the beginning, go back and start from the beginning. But I, being Mr. Mid-Atlantic Leather, represent the leather community. And what we're talking about on this podcast, speaking specifically to the pony community, I am curious how you see that overlap or lack of overlap.
Yes, the answer is yes. I do see us as part of the leather community. Now, that being said, I think it needs to be said that the pony community and, say, the pup community are kind of come at it different ways.
Okay.
In that we have different origin stories, which I talked about back on the second episode or something. In that, the pup community really came out of the gay leather scene post World War II, where pony play is much older. And pony play is, I would say, more regularly spans the gender spectrum than pup play usually does. Usually. There are always exceptions. But, sure. But usually, I mean, you can politely say that pup play is predominantly gay men, or, predominantly. Where pony play really is a huge spectrum. It is wide, and you get everybody in there. And it's because it comes from stories. Like, the oldest one that's recorded is from the 13th century.
Holy cows.
Yeah. And it's just, there's history behind all of it, and you can learn more about that on my second episode, or you can go to cpony.org, which is a great resource for all this stuff. He's a pony out of San Francisco who has put together a great website of resources, which is where I got most of my information and sources for that episode. So go read that instead. But
or both. But with that being said, yes, the pony community is very much in the leather community. So yes, you do represent us as well. Surprise, surprise. Well, what an honor. Thank you.
Yeah, you're very welcome. But I want to see more ponies at more of the leather events.
Yes.
As well.
Absolutely so. I think that is one of the things too that struck me in looking at some of these photos from the North American Pony and Trainer Contest, and learning from your podcast and kind of just doing some exploring of my own, since meeting you, is like that diversity is really cool. The different body types, the different ages, the different, we already talked about like who's got that quote unquote like high caliber gear or who has made it themselves, and who's starting out, who's been around forever. The range that I think your community demonstrates is really inspiring. And so it's interesting to say, yes, you see that you are part of my community. I also would say yes, but that we are part of your community. And it's really, really cool to see like this standard of acceptance and pushing people to be in the spotlight, regardless of what they look like, regardless of how experienced they might be. And I think what you all are doing in your community is something that a lot of us could learn from, in making sure that we do the same at our contests, at our bar nights, at our our community events, at whatever our munches might be, like whatever it might be. I think we could all do a little bit better on that. So thank you for being an example of it.
Yeah.
And of course, you are more than welcome, as are any of your trainers and ponies and any of the critters in your life are always welcome at things like Mid-Atlantic Leather, for example. That's coming up in January. I would love to see some range there. When I competed last year, I was Mr. Virginia Leather, and my Miss Virginia Leather was like, I'm going to be there to support you. Ladies are hardly ever there. And I was like, well, screw that. Let's
I'm just
mix
like, what?
It up.
What is this? A giant sausage fest?
Yeah, which really doesn't bother me too much, except when people feel like they can't be there. And so last year it was great. We had the founder of the Blue Ridge Leather community. She came out, and Miss Virginia Leather was there. We had the Keystone family was there. We had the Woods title holders were there. We had I can't even go down the list of all of the, I'm going to say like non-nail, non-mask folks that came out. Was amazing. And so this year, that's one of the things that we've tried really hard is to make sure that we're creating a space where everybody is welcome. And for me, that includes ponies too. So for any ponies that are listening to this right now, know that you are welcome at Mid-Atlantic Leather, and anywhere that Jason Elliott is, you're going to be safe to be there.
I mean, I was there last year, so.
You sure were.
Yeah, I was. But you didn't see me when I went home, grabbed my gear, and came back.
Sure didn't. to be fair, I don't think I saw much of anything last
Fair
week.
enough. Yeah.
Or last year.
I think I spent maybe an hour in the lobby in those hooves, and I was just like, yeah, okay, I'm done.
Yeah.
Honestly, lobby, fine. The lobby that has tile, fine. The carpets in the hallways to the rooms, that's what kills you.
Really?
Yeah, because if you think about it, when you're in the hooves, you're basically, especially mine, you're on your toes. You're not even on your toe box. You're on your toes. If you have solid floor underneath you, it's much easier to balance. Where if you're on carpet, you're kind of wiggling around a bit underneath your foot.
Okay, that's
so
fair.
you can't hold it steady.
All right, that makes a lot of sense, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm having
Don't get me
flashbacks.
started about gravel.
I was literally about to say I'm having flashbacks when I was a female impersonator and I would be walking up and down like after bars or in parades, and we would always be on cobblestones or like dirt paths and things. And being in giant stilettos, it's not easy. But I guess I never thought about that with hooves.
Yeah, take that and take off the heel.
Yeah, no. I don't think so. I mean, well, I say I don't think so. I don't know. This is the exploration happening in my mind. This is how it starts. This is going to be my origin story.
We could have some fun.
Hey, I'm all about it.
I don't let a lot of people in my gear, but for you, I think I'd make an exception.
Oh, y'all heard it here first, folks. And we've got it on record.
It's on tape. Yeah.
All right. Wonderful. I'll take you up on that.
Deal.
All right, sweet. Well, look, I don't want to take up all of your time in the world,
That's
but
fine.
I kind of like to like have some elevation, some happy stuff, as we kind of wrap up this episode. And I think one of the best ways to start that is just to ask, what's the best part of pony play for you?
Oh man, honestly, for me, it's first thing is I'm starved for human touch. So just being felt.
I love it.
Like I love a pony grooming scene like so much, mainly because it's soft, sensual touch involved. So like I love that, but just like the community, it's such a cliche, but the community is so great. Like when a bunch of us get together, it's just a bunch of dorks just having fun. Like it really is. Like when we meet up at the DC herd meets in the Crucible every month, right? And when we're all just there, just shooting the shit, like it is so much fun. And it becomes, like I said, chaos. It becomes chaos, especially if certain ponies who they know who they are show up and they just invoke, the riot of ponies every time.
I love that. Now, if that is the best part of pony play for you, another question that comes often in like our leather community is, what is the best piece of gear that you have and why? Or what is your favorite piece of gear and why?
Ooh.
Yeah, you got to reach deep for this one.
I love my hood. I love my pony hood, and because it's an outward expression of myself as a horse.
In which way specifically?
In way like it's a very serious face on it. It's just like, I'm here to work. I'm here to do the thing. Mm-hmm. Like I remember when I was ordering it, I wanted it to be unique. And so I actually went to the makers who made it and like, I'm looking for a different mane color than what you've ever done. I'm looking for this specific color. Can you do it? And they're like, yeah, absolutely. Like cool. I purposely went on my way to make sure that it was a very unique hood that you wouldn't see else often. I do know other people have now since gotten it, but flattery, I'm sure. But yeah, I would say like that hood is just very much like, as soon as it goes on, it's like, okay, like this is part of me.
Yeah. I love that. I think we all have that piece of gear that makes that transformation for us. Mm-hmm. And it's so cool to think about, like the security and the comfort and the confidence that when we pull out that one piece, we know I have arrived. Here I am.
Exactly.
I'm ready for business, whatever that business might be. I love that. Sweet. Okay, so look, you always ask these next couple of questions, and now I get to ask them to you, which is very exciting. How has your play changed over time, and has any of it influenced your everyday life?
Ooh, damn, my own questions used against me. My play has changed. My play has changed in that I use it now as an icebreaker. And when I say that, I mean it's so important to me that, like, as I'm dating, as I'm looking for a partner, it's no longer like a second or third date conversation. It's now like my Hinge profile is like horse picture, horse picture, horse picture, horse picture, me at work, right? Because it's like I don't want to waste the time going through things that will, like, I don't want to waste the time in starting to date someone who's like not at least like slightly intrigued, you know? So I guess the way to answer that is my play has changed in that it has become, and this is where I answer both questions, it's become more of a bigger part of my life. You know, it's something I'm not embarrassed by. It's
great.
Like my license plate literally says Rubber Pony. Like,
your license plate does?
Yep.
That's great.
On both the car and the motorcycle.
I love
so
it.
It's just like it has influenced my life so much in that also, like, I feel like it's made me a more confident person as well. Which as an artist is surprising. I could become even more vain and confident. No, I'm kidding. But it does help.
I wasn't going to say anything.
Wow. Okay. No, I mean, it does help you come out of your shell, and it does, like, it has inspired me to really open up and be more of myself with people.
I love that.
So
really
I guess my play itself hasn't actually really changed all that much, but yes, it has influenced my life a lot.
Yeah, it sounds like it. I mean, you have personalized plates.
In Virginia, it's really fucking cheap, man.
I know it is. Also, I'm really impressed that you were able to find a way to make 2 personalized plates for Rubber Pony that weren't already taken.
So the car is RBBRPNY, and then motorcycles only have 6 letters.
Yeah.
So RBRPNY.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Noted.
And everybody thinks I'm Rye Pony, which is hilarious. You'll get tagged when someone sees it on the, like, you'll get tagged on Blue Sky. Rye, we see you. He's like, that's not me, but I know who it is.
See, there's that tight herd mentality right there.
And then I just pop in and I'm like, hi, that's me. Thanks for letting me know. I got to put air in that tire.
I love that. That was recently someone sent me a picture of a vehicle, and it said basically it had a heart and it said Mr. NAL on it.
You posted that. Yeah, I saw that.
I did. I posted that on my story, and I was like, I really want to know the story behind this, but actually the one I've made up in my head is probably much better. So that's what we're going to give it out. But the fact that somebody saw it and made the association of I have to take a picture and send it to Mr. MAL was really cool. But now I'm going to be looking out for Rubber Pony plates. That's how it goes. All right. So you had started this podcast. This is the second of your classic questions. You started this podcast really because from what I understand you saying, it was really difficult to find those resources for this community. And a lot of the kink that you were coming across specifically with podcasts was through like porn and porn stars talking about how this is their life 100% of the time. And that just wasn't quite you. So straight from the horse's mouth, I want to hear, what is your daily life like?
Oh, man. Thanks for getting the title of the podcast back in there. Like that.
I will
nicely done.
I will always mix that.
Nicely done.
I told you I got training in this.
Yeah. I mean, daily life, it is, I've got 2 cats I got to put through college. So, no, I work 2 full-time jobs right now in order to make ends meet in the ecosystem that is Northern Virginia, which, for those who aren't listening, is one of the most expensive regions in the country.
Yes.
And it's fucking ridiculous. Yeah, I work 2 full-time jobs. I work 6 days a week. I try and take that time that I have off. Trying to find downtime that is also productive for me is difficult because I'm also that person who, if I don't leave my house, I feel like I've wasted my day completely. Mm-hmm. No matter like how much I've cleaned or fixed the place, like I feel like I've wasted my entire day. So yeah, my daily life is literally go to one job, wake up, throw the cats off of me, go to one job, sit in the office and do work for about 4 hours, then go to the other job, sit in the office and work for about 4 hours, and double dip as you go. Put out fires all day. Either go to a coffee shop that's going to be open late and work on said podcast, or work on some music stuff because I am a professional musician, so I'm constantly writing music and prepping for whatever's coming next concert wise. And then get home at 10 or 11 o'clock at night, make dinner, and fall asleep on the couch, wake up in the morning, do it again. And at some point, yeah, I'll try and go to an event, maybe. I'm sorry, you want me to park downtown in D.C.? No, fuck off. I'm not going to that. No. You want me to go to the District Eagle, which is nowhere near a metro station, and park? And not get towed? Are you insane? No, that's not happening.
See, I've just started living my life on the edge for those type of things. I'm like, yep, I'll show up. But if you booked me to go to your event and I get towed, you're paying the towing fee.
Well, you get booked. I just show up.
Well,
one day I'll get booked.
Maybe one day very soon. Who knows?
Who knows? But yeah, that's life. Yeah.
I love it. Well, it sounds like a great life. A very well-rounded life. Except for the cats. I'm allergic. So, sorry.
They're hypo. It's fine. They're hypoallergenic.
What?
Yeah, they're Russian blues.
I didn't know that they were hypoallergenic.
They are.
Well, look at that. I've learned something else new today. This is great. Okay, wonderful.
You can crash at my place anytime you need to.
Ah, noted.
Can't promise you'll be able to breathe the next morning, but...
because of the cats or because of...
No questions. No comments.
Maybe we'll figure that out. All right. Before this goes in a completely different direction, let's go in the final closing direction of some word association. So this is a cool thing that you do on all of your episodes where you rapid fire off a few words and just get the person's or your guest's immediate response to that word. I learned on my episode, it doesn't have to be just a one word association. I'm not going to put any unnecessary rules on you, but just for our listeners, they understand. So most of these are going to be pony themed, and we're going to start with the first one, and you tell us what you think of when you hear this word. All right?
Okay.
Ready?
Yes.
Okay. I know you've never done this before.
Not at all. I didn't make this list at all.
Surprise, I changed it.
Yeah, I saw.
All right. So first is gear.
Tack.
Tack. For anybody who doesn't know, what is tack?
Tack is the stuff that gets thrown on a horse. It's your harness, it's your bridle, it's your everything. It's the leather bits that you use to control a horse.
Love it. Number 2, ritual.
Tacking up. Putting on gear.
Yeah, that's a good one. That really does feel like a ritual. Number 3, parade. And you can't say the same story about kicking people in the DC parade last year.
It was deserved, man.
Hey, I'm not doubting that.
Proud.
Ooh, good one. Number 4, tension.
Ooh, reins.
Ooh, that's a good one. Mm-hmm. I can feel that at the moment too. 5, bridle.
Control.
Ooh, very good. Number 6, show ring.
Terrifying.
Oh, no, not terrifying.
I'm a workhorse, man. I'm not a show pony. Show rings are terrifying.
You know what, though? Sometimes the show ring is a place for us to show off what we're really good at. So just keep that in mind, that all those little fancy little show ponies, they can't do what you do.
I'm going to need some bricks.
So, I'm sorry, somewhat.
I'm going to need some bricks.
So, we can get those.
Yeah.
I got you. Don't even worry about it. All right. So show ring, terrifying. 7, mane.
Flowing or in my eyes all the fucking time.
Oh, yes. We love a good braided mane for that very reason, right?
Yeah.
How about in that same idea, number 8, pony grooming.
Ooh. Tantalizing.
Ooh. You did say that this was down your alley.
Yeah. I mean, just put me in a cross tie and just start touching, basically. Like, I mean, in rubber, like getting shined up and you just feel those fingers just like kind of running along the rubber. It's another feeling altogether. But also, like, I like being fussed over a little bit. So, like, someone's sitting there going, "What the fuck did you do to your tail?" as they're trying to like brush it out. You know.
I mean, and they could just be curious, like, what the fuck did you do to your tail?
Right? Yeah. I need a new one. It is so bad.
I'll keep an eye out then. All right. Perfect. So number 9, I put this one in there. Leather.
I've got 2 answers for this.
I guess we'll allow it. It is your
my podcast, my rules. Yeah. The first one is the smell. Just I immediately smell it. But the second one is community.
Love that. Love it. And we talked a lot about that too. Like it really is a community. And even when we represent various aspects of that community, we will always have each other's backs. Always. Yep. And if somebody doesn't have your back, they're not your community. They're not part of this community, because the leather community that we love is the one that's got our backs.
Damn fucking right.
That's right. Sweet. All right. And our last word association for today, accomplishment.
Ooh, what is this? Therapy?
Yes, actually.
God damn it. Doing the thing. And when I say that, I don't mean winning the thing, just doing the thing. Completing the thing.
Yeah.
Or even better yet, showing up.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes I think showing up is one of the most underrated accomplishments that there is. Sometimes it's so hard to show up. It's so hard just to be. I think that is an accomplishment worth celebrating.
I think
love
you're right.
That.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's great.
Good.
I love that.
That's a cute way to wrap this up.
It's almost like I've done this before. Now, Kylian, thank you so much for coming on. But before we actually put that cute little bow on this, as if people don't already know, where can people find you online or in person?
I mean, you can find me every week on Straight from the Horse's Mouth. There's also a lovely link tree available. No, you can find me on pretty much every social media as Rubber Pony Kylian. You can also find me on FetLife. There is a Just for Fans that has been poorly mismanaged, and there's one subscriber who I don't think knows that they're subscribed to me. I don't know. So that exists. It's out there. Slowly being updated because your boy needs money.
Cha-ching.
Yeah, right. In person, you can usually find me every month at the Crucible for the Pony Play meetups. That's like every second Sunday of the month from 2 to 6. And I highly encourage you, even if you're not into pony play, to come out and check it out, because what other time are you going to get a chance to have full reign of of the Crucible for like $10 or $15 for 4 hours? Like, it's basically open play. Like, it's worth it. I'll be at MFF, Midwest Furry. Nope, got that wrong. Midwest Furry something festival, whatever. I'll be at MFF in Chicago at the beginning of December, and I will be competing for the North American Pony title in Baltimore on December 14th.
That's right. I love it. And those tickets for North American Pony Trainer Contest on Sunday, December 14th, are available on Eventbrite, or you can head to North American. Let me make sure I say this right. NorthAmericanPonyTrainerContest.com and follow the link there. And I have to say, I was very surprised to see the tickets are starting at just $12.51.
Yeah, they are not expensive. And that's to encourage more people to come out. And also, if you buy pre-sale, then the sale of the tickets actually goes to the travel fund for the winner. Where if you buy when you get there, it goes to the Playhouse. So think about that. Think ahead.
That is a really good point. I'm so glad you mentioned that too. I know that I am absolutely going to be checking my own schedule and see if I can't make it out there. And this is just my plug too for anybody who is curious about what this life is all about. A contest is a great place to learn that, because you have some of the great leaders of our community who are organizing it, who are competing in it, and who are attending it. And so you get the chance to ask those questions and just enjoy it. So if anybody is curious, make sure you check out the North American Pony and Trainer Contest on Sunday, December 14th in Baltimore, Maryland. So yeah, anything else before we wrap it up?
No, I'm good.
All right, perfect. Me too. But one more time, thank you, Kylian, for sharing your personal pony journey with us. You have enlightened us, educated us, inspired us, and it's been really awesome to hear all the aspects of your journey straight from the horse's mouth, so to speak. And thank you as well, listener, for joining us on this episode of Straight from the Horse's Mouth. I've been Jason Elliott, Mr. Mid-Atlantic Leather, and it has been my honor to guest host this episode. If you enjoyed this one, don't forget to like, subscribe, and tune in next week for more with your actual host, the one that you've heard from today, Kylian Toirneach, for another episode of Straight from the Horse's Mouth. Thanks, everybody.